AI agents are everywhere, automating tasks and making decisions at machine speed. But agents make mistakes. Just one rogue agent can do big damage before you even notice. Rubrik Agent Cloud is the only platform that helps you monitor agents, set guardrails, and rewind mistakes, so you can unleash agents, not risk. Accelerate your AI transformation at Rubrik.com. That's RUBRIK.com.
Kevin Harlan here. Tonight at 5:30 Eastern, the NBA on Prime Crew is back as the Emirates NBA action heats up from Vegas for a thrilling semifinals doubleheader. Then on Tuesday night, December 16th at 8:30 Eastern, the last two teams standing will square off in the championship game for a shot at the cup, bragging rights, and a place in NBA history. And Prime is your exclusive home for it all. Not a Prime member? Sign up for a free 30-day trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. Don't miss the thrilling conclusion of the Emirates NBA Cup live from Las Vegas, starting with the semifinals tonight, only on Prime.
Drinking and driving will change your whole world. The next time you're out with friends, consider what would happen if you got pulled over after drinking, like the legal fees or the time in court or a DUI on your record. Your decision to drink and drive could change someone else's world too if you hurt or even kill them in a crash. Instead, what if a decision to call a sober ride changed your world for the better? Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
Doesn't matter if you were an Indian or if you're a Warhawk.
The ULM mention is the greatest. You'd hope for the best as a ULM fan, but
this is the Bleav in the Warhawks podcast with hosts Dusty Thibodeaux and Chase Regian.
Chase, you always have such great insight.
Tibbs is going to bleep it all.
What are these guys always talking about?
We talk a lot about food on this podcast, and I'm going to continue to do so.
Really, really appreciative of the people and the community and the way that they've backed us up.
Nailed the introduction, by the way. Awesome.
Thanks,
I love
Fish.
it.
Chase, did you see that we get, as we talked about previously, some coattail money coming up with the purple and gold joining the CFP?
I saw that. I love that. JMU representing. You got to love the Sunbelt team in there.
I really wanted to open the show with, hey, Chase, I'm giving up my maroon and gold for purple and gold.
No, you're not. Tibbs, you're 30 years into this thing, bud. You ain't giving it up for anything.
30.
What is it? Not, you started there in what? 85, 75, something like that? I guess it's 40 or 50 years. My bad.
I don't even want to ask you how old you think I am.
Age is but a number, my friend.
Yeah, and I feel every bit of it. So what are your thoughts on that? Because there's been so much conversation that James Madison, Tulane don't deserve to be there. They don't belong. The new argument being, it's a safety concern that their players might get hurt playing against, the P4.
Come on.
Preposterous.
Yeah, I think it's a gross misunderstanding of the talent differences. I think that there are talent differences, yes. But teams like James Madison, teams like Tulane have top-tier talent. They may not have the depth, and that's been kind of the story that we've talked about for a long time. But I really think that a school like James Madison, Tulane, will shock some people. Will they win or not? I don't know. But I really think that they'll put a better effort than most people give them credit for.
We're 25 years into Sun Belt Conference, right? And somebody brought up, the Sun Belt will never beat a P4 school. I want to say the number stood at around 35. It's been about one a year that the Sun Belt has beaten a P4 school.
Absolutely. We're on that list, baby. Don't worry.
Several times.
Yeah, that's right. We sneaks one.
A guy that's going to help us sneak one. We got a new leader of the club, SJ Touhy, joining us. AD Touhy. I like SJ better too much. Sorry, that's just too much of a mouthful to spit out all the acronyms. Welcome to the Bayou. Tell us, how did you wind up? We always start off asking everybody why ULM. How did you wind up on the Bayou?
Yeah, it depends how much time we got this podcast. It's a bit of a God thing, candidly. I mean, I was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I remember, pretty vividly. I was on a walk with my girlfriend. We were walking the dogs a night in Tulsa, and I saw the previous guy had resigned, and I turned to her on the walk and said, hey, what would you feel about living in Monroe, Louisiana? How would you feel about that? And she was like, I wouldn't. I haven't really thought about it. Why? I was like, I don't know. This guy just resigned there, and like I think it's a place that they want to win, and I don't know. I think maybe do good there. And I had a buddy on staff with Coach Vincent, guy named Mark Modzleski, and he's FaceTimes me once a week. Just he's a high energy guy. We always talk random Monroe stuff. And I'm like, I swear I could probably help that place. And she's like, can you get it? And I'm like, I don't think so. I was just kind of saying that because I saw it on Twitter. And a couple of days later, she calls me and is like, why'd you ask about Monroe? And I'm like, oh, I don't know why. Because the job wasn't posted. Like I was going to apply, just like a normal application and see if I can get an interview, whatever. And I'm like, did you see did it get posted? And she's like, no, I just got offered to be a part-time trainer there. They need some help in the athletic training realm. And she works in the UFL. She was out of season. And I'm like, yeah, take it. Go down there and help me get that job. Like, figure it out. And she went down there and, she was not really helping me get the job initially. She was worried about maybe keeping the players on the field and working basketball. And they had 8 sports with like 2 trainers. But when she was down here, she was talking like, we have this problem, we have this problem, we have this problem. And I came out, man, I swear I can fix these problems. And I was bothering Mods about staying on Coach Vincent. Obviously, he was the interim AD. I'm like, just tell him to talk to me. Tell him to give me a call. And finally, it came to a place where they were, going to interview people and opened it up. And, thankfully, I had some boots on the ground, right? I had some intel, and I felt that there were problems that I could help address. And, put it on them. And I'm not from Monroe by any means, but we have, we're Louisiana. My dad's from Louisiana. We have a Louisiana family, and it's not necessarily, home to me by any means, but it's a place I've always enjoyed coming. And I leaned into that heavy. I didn't do the full Brian Kelly fake accent by any means, but I leaned into the Louisiana piece and leaned into some things I thought that I could help with. And thankfully got the next round of interviews. And then once you talk to Dr. Castillo, I thought no one could outwork me. No one's going to be more hyper than me. No one's going to have better ideas. And then that chick's got everything. So we hit it off, and thankfully it all worked out.
You lost me when you said you had Mods focused enough to
what
do
a wild,
anything.
What a wild pull. Didn't expect it.
Well, I'll tell you what, I've told 10 people since I got here, if you would have told me 10 years ago in my career that Mark Modzleski would ever help me get a job in my career anywhere on the planet, I would have never believed you. But I love him. Okay, that's my guy.
Yeah, we love him too. Friend of the pod, for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm telling you, like, I would have been like that. That's not a job that I want if he's helping me. And I don't know if he was as helpful as he was just like bothering Coach with, hey, talk to this guy, which I guess that counts. So I should just say he gets full credit. He gets credit for getting me in front of him. But I'm thankful that it worked out. And again, I love him. He's all over.
So kind of your first taste there of ULM, you were there for the Battle of the Boot in Lafayette.
Yeah.
Great stadium. And I know the game didn't go the way we wanted it to, but it was a great game, especially for this season with all the injuries and just the frustration we had. What was kind of your thoughts, though, as you watched that team, watch that game and the atmosphere?
Man, I was pumped because if we won, that made me look really good. I was like, I just took the job the day before. I'm going to be the first
one on the
planet.
Yeah, come on.
Look, the only thing losing does is teach you how to lose. So I don't think I wasn't going like, oh, it was a moral victory for us and all that kind of stuff. But we beat them. We just forgot to win the game. I mean, you beat them in every facet of the game, which is encouraging. That to me, that we're not as far off as I think some people would say from the outside. When you look at the record and look at what unfolded, but when you get behind the curtain, you go, man, it's just not that far off. And candidly, you saw how kids played in that game at 3-8, whatever it was, and you go, man, they care about this place. I think a lot of them are going to come back, which is encouraging. 3-9 in today's world, like you're going to lose the entire group, and he's retaining a lot of kids, and so that was encouraging. The fact that the morale that was an easy game to quit, right? I mean, like you don't want to play that game. They're playing for everything to go to a bowl game, very little to play for on our end, on the road, bad weather, that kind of thing, and those kids play hard, so that was encouraging.
So since your official announcement, which was like a week ago now,
Thursday. Yeah, Thursday.
Not even a week.
5 days.
I'm going to ask you an impossible question. You ready?
Yeah, bring.
Where do you start? Where do you start a place like ULM? Where do you start bringing the expertise you got from where you're from and the history you have in an athletic department? What's phase one for you?
Well, I said this in the press conference. you start by listening, right? I mean, I want to hit the ground listening and figuring out, what the biggest areas of need that we can, get the low-hanging fruit first and build our way up. I think I get, about 6 Red Bulls a day, and I get early and stay late, and I want to change everything in a day, and I'm determined not to do that. One, because we have a lot of good stuff, candidly. I mean, we have a lot of good people that are here already. We're going to bring in some other good folks too, and I think we have, some facilities obviously need improving, that's for sure. But there's some that are really nice, and so it's not like it's in dire needs. It's in dire needs of vision and work and people that believe in it. And candidly, that's what I told our athletic staff in our first meeting. I said, the advantage we have is in a small staff is that we should be the best communicators in the country. Like, we're a small staff. So our advantage in the Sun Belt is that we have to be more aligned and we have to communicate better, because we're not going to have more resources. We're not going to have some, Monroe's great, but it's not like it's at UCF. We had less money, but we're in Orlando. That's a beneficial place to be in terms of, recruiting hotbed and stuff. And, we don't have that advantage. So what's our advantage? We have to be aligned. And I think we have a lot that are, and the ones that are not are going to stick out like a sore thumb, and we'll figure that piece out. But to me, to answer your question, you got to eat elephant one bite at a time. And that's what I keep telling myself every day is like, we can't do it. So what makes sense? It's small. How can we better provide a fan experience at basketball? It doesn't cost a lot of money because we're in the middle of the season. How can we be more intentional about donor stewardship and reworking our donor levels to make it more simple so that we can steward donors better? How can we have more efficient player contracts so we can do rev share more efficiently? Just small stuff to figure out where that leads, and then we'll address the big stuff as we go.
That's a lot. In words that you haven't really heard on the Bayou at ULM in the past. How much of this did you kind of learn in your previous stops there at Oral Roberts, at Central Florida, at Arkansas? And like you even said, those are kind of the higher revenue places. How do you kind of, for lack of a better term, dumb that down into
the
G6 and a Sunbelt school?
Well, two pieces. I mean, everyone's got the same problems. Like Ohio State thinks they don't have enough money, and they have the most. Like, so if we had $100 million donor tomorrow, please God, if you guys know one, but we'll spend it. That's how college athletics is, right? To some extent. So it's people are facing the same problems, or just on a different scale. So that's one piece. But the second piece, those places that I have gone to, when I played at SMU, and when I got there, we were so bad. Like, it would have made this Monroe team would beat us by 30. Chad was 111 first year. When I played, we were 5-7, and we stunk, but we punched our weight because we believed in what we sucked so bad that all we had to do was believe in this guy that was coaching us, right? Like, that was our only chance, because we weren't going to out-talent people. We weren't big enough, fast enough. Starting quarterback hurt first game, one of those type of seasons where it's like, what are we going to do? And so we bought in because that was our only option, and we ended up turning it there and going to a bowl game the next year and going to Arkansas. So you're part of the build at SMU. I got to Arkansas, obviously, after Bill was there. I think is a good dude. Just didn't work out, when he was coaching there, and we took over a bad situation. We didn't make it much better, candidly, but I learned a lot of, what I thought would work there that didn't work, what I think ended up working that we put in place that Sam Pittman took over. Then we went to Liberty. That was Freeze's second year at Liberty. His first year FBS, we go 11-1. So you saw kind of coming into the tail end of, that's a G6, going into Division I and what that looked like, transitioning that program. Then going to UCF, obviously, after COVID. And Hype had a weird year where he kind of got out of, like, he got to Tennessee, but he didn't have a good year at UCF, so we kind of rebuild that piece of it. So I've come in on rebuilds, I say all to say. Is weirdly enough, almost every place I've been has been a rebuilding type process, which has been great because some have worked amazingly. Some, like at Arkansas, it didn't go as well. So I think I've learned there's things at Arkansas that I could have sworn that would have been effective, and it wasn't, which is great to come into it now. So we have a lot of that same stuff here. I think that there's the good piece about here is that unlike some of those places, and not all of them, but people in the community, people in the department, our coaches that are here really, really, really want to win, and a lot of them really believe in this place. You're not having to convince. There's a couple that we're going to force into a decision pretty quick. Do they believe it or not? And we'll figure that out. But 95% of people here, like, they're in. So I think we have the right mindset going into it.
Yeah, and I think, in my opinion, you really inherited some great coaches that I know Tibbs and I really believe in, and personally, I really think that a lot of them are doing a lot of great things. I want to transition a little bit. SJ, what kind of psychopath plays basketball in college for 4 years and then goes and plays football somewhere?
Probably one that sucks at basketball. So you got to figure it out and go get into football. Candidly, the coach recruited me to the place I went to, Loyola, which is like the one Loyola that no one here has ever heard of, right? If you think you've heard of it, it's not that one. And like usually I face Chicago. Well,
one in New Orleans,
everyone thinks Chicago or California because Hank Gathers was a good player there. Then now here it's like, oh, New Orleans. No, still not that one. It's the only other option that you could have got. But the coach who recruited me there was awesome. He's kind of a legend on the East Coast, kind of Jimmy Patsos, and he left. We hired a coach who was not a bad dude, but just a bad coach. And candidly, like my junior year, I'm like, man, if this guy can be a college basketball coach, I know that I can be a college basketball coach. Like I'm certain of it. So I tried to graduate in 3 years. I ended up doing 3.5, and I was going to do like the whole grad. Back then when a portal, you had to sit out. So I was going to grad transfer, and I calling pops on scholarship at Loyola. Said, man, if I'm going to walk on somewhere my last year, I want to learn how to coach. Like who do you think is the best coach in the country? And he said, man, I think Larry Brown at SMU is a really good coach. And Larry lived on my granddad's couch when he was coaching the New Orleans Buccaneers ABA team. So I reached out to him and said, hey, yeah, right, deep. And to kind of walk on, and he said, yeah, absolutely. And I'm like, man, I just wanted to learn, what is it supposed to look like? Because my team did not look like that with a new coach. And of course, I got there, and 2 weeks later, Larry Brown gets fired for NIL, pre-NIL, and Chad Morris, who was the football coach there, and I talked about I was going to walk on with him too, or maybe be around football. He was a family friend, and I loved him. We knew each other from Destin, Florida, and I called him. I was like, crap, man, Larry Brown got fired. Like, I don't know this new coach. He's like, yeah, that sucks. So let's play some football. I'm like, well, I suck at football. I haven't played since high school. He's like, yeah, we'll figure it out. What can you do? I was like, I was a safety in high school. He's like, that's not going to work here, probably. Yeah. So I ended up being a third or fourth or fifth, however many strings we had, punter. Then we had an Australian kid who's awesome, who's actually coming to enroll Sunday, who was our starting punter. And thankfully, in the world of special teams, usually your punter or your backup punter or your backup quarterback is the holder for field goals.
Yeah.
And the starting punter was always a kid. He had terrible hands. The backup punter broke his leg a week before the first game. And our starting quarterback got hurt like the preseason, and our backup quarterback was going to start and was like so panicked. And literally in a week before the first game, Chad's like, who's ever held for a field goal? And like I raised my hand, and I had not.
No, dang well you ain't never done that.
We have a lot, but we had a snapper. I called him. I dude, like, you need to snap me like a 500 balls for practice tomorrow because I need to figure this crap out. So I did. So I ended up holding all the field goals and got a couple punts. It was great. It was the best experience I've ever had. We learned a ton, and that's kind of what got me into football.
Kevin Harlan here. Tonight, the NBA on Prime crew is back as the Emirates NBA knockout rounds continue. The action heads to Las Vegas tonight for a thrilling semifinals doubleheader. 4 teams remain, but only 2 will move on. The last 2 teams standing will then go toe-to-toe Tuesday night, December 16th, in the championship game for a shot at the cup, bragging rights, and a place in NBA history. And Prime is your exclusive home for all the action. So don't miss the final chase for the Emirates NBA Cup, coming to you live from Las Vegas, starting with the semifinals doubleheader tonight at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And Prime's also got your front row seat for the championship game Tuesday, December 16th at 8:30 Eastern. If you're not a Prime member, that's not a problem. Sign up for a free 30-day trial to get started today. Restrictions apply. See Amazon.com/Amazon Prime for details. And don't miss the thrilling conclusion to the Emirates NBA Cup tonight, only on Prime.
Hey, this is Steve Gorman, radio host, sports commentator, former drummer for the Black Crowes. The winter holidays are here, a time for festive celebrations, family gatherings, and ringing in the new year. Whether it's a holiday party, a night out with friends, or just relaxing by the fire with a few drinks, it's a season full of good cheer. But here's something else to add to your holiday plans: a safe and sober ride home. Just like in sports and music, always have a game plan. And the most important part of any plan is sticking to it. If you plan to drink, take that plan a step further. Call a rideshare, a taxi, a sober friend, or have a designated driver lined up before the night begins. Drinking and driving is a decision that can change your life and the lives of others forever. A DUI, a crash, an injury. The consequences are real and lasting. So please, for your sake and for everyone else on the road, make the smart choice. Get a sober ride home. Drive sober or get pulled over. Paid for by NHTSA.
So long story short,
amazing.
Go to play basketball, get your coach fired, be then bad at basketball, resent the new coach, transfer to play football, and that's how you get to be a college football player.
Get the other guy fired, and then
Yeah, make sure the punter breaks his leg, do the whole thing. It'll work.
Well,
out.
and move across the nation when I do it. My next question is, why administration? Why athletic administration? What kind of pushed you? You talk about kind of coaching. Yeah. What kind of transitioned you from the want to coach to the want to be involved in administration?
Yeah, two things only, candidly. And one of them was, I don't know why I keep saying, I think it's candidly 4 times. So I don't know why, to be honest with you guys, I don't have to keep pre-emphasizing it. But when I was in college, I was in our dining cafeteria as a junior, and we had a guy, Dylan Cormier, on our team, who was an unbelievable player. He led the country in scoring for the first month of that season, 35 a game. And our AD walked through the cafeteria and said, "Hey, fellas, what's up?" And hey, Jim. And I was the president of our SACs, I knew him. And Dylan was, by far the best athlete on campus. And Jim walked past, and Dylan goes, "Who's that guy?" And I'm like, that's our AD. He's an important guy on campus. He matters. He's like, "Yeah, what's he do for us? What do he do?" And I'm going, and I was about to answer him, and I'm like, "That's a good question. I don't know why you know him, because he doesn't really do much with us." And I'm not saying he wasn't a bad AD or whatever, but I remember going, that's not what college sports should look like. You should be involved with the kids. And I think as an athlete, there's this view of an administration in this ivory tower, and they're doing their own thing, and I hated that. So I thought about it then, and then I went to college in Baltimore, and then obviously finished in Dallas. And to me, in those cities, especially Baltimore, all across the country that I've been, I think athletic departments massively miss and underserve the communities that they're in. And I remember going, if you're a coach, you can impact people. I think that is one of the most impactful things in the world. But I think as an AD, you can get a whole department involved in a community, and that's what was important to me. And whether that's, I met with our president of SAC this morning, one of our women's golfers, who's awesome, and I told her I'll help with the community service piece, but what I really, really want to do is have all of our teams partner with, whether it's women's golf has the first grade at one elementary, and men's basketball has, the fourth grade class at this school. I want them to be in a classroom with kids that they're impacting, reading levels, are impacting their desire to want to go to college. They don't care if you're the point guard at ULM or the point guard for the Mavericks. To a second grader, you're a college, athlete. So that's what kind of drove me to want to be into it, which is weird thing to say, but I like the business side of things. I love, I'll haggle over anything and all that kind of stuff. So to me, coaching was not enough of a bandwidth. I'm too ADD to just do one thing. I need to do 40.
Take me back, because at the end of the day, I know you love all coaches the same. They're all the children, so to say, of the athletic director.
Who said that? We like winners.
Well, yeah.
No, sir. Who wins? We like the ones who win championships. They're all the same.
But with that said, you're in the South at a program that has football. So I know when you met BV that there was that immediate kind of connection. What was that initial meeting like with him, and what was kind of his words that you were like, all right, I know that I'm going to be leading the Warhawks soon?
Yeah, BV is a person that is a contagious belief, certainly. And to me, talking to him, he's a guy the way he talked about Monroe, the way he talked about. There's such few coaches. Not to pander about one that just moved to Louisiana from another place, but there's such few coaches currently, I think, in the country that genuinely still really care about the kids. And you could say any kid in our team, BV can tell you what his mom does. BV can tell you, his sister's deal. He walked one of the kids out on senior day, didn't have family. He and Miss Holly are the senior day. It's when you talk to him, you go, he loves the kids, he loves the community, and he really, really wants to change something. So you're man, I want to, how can I help? And I think, to me, BV probably advocated for me more than another candidate or someone else, because the way I talked to him was I'm here to help you do what you want to do. And I think a lot of ADs probably, I don't know, I hope I got the job, but I think they came in saying here's how we're going to do it. Here's how I want to do this. Here's how I want to do this. And BV's already got a pretty good plan. I think we need to help him execute it. And so that's probably what led to that piece of it. And to your point, all the coaches, every student athlete, the student athlete experience is insanely important to me. Right. And that's cheap to say because you were one, but I want our beach volleyball player to have the best possible experience that they can Monroe. I think it's people that don't care all of them or should not be in our business. And I told our staff that yesterday morning when I met them the first time. I said, if you don't like the kids, change jobs. Like, this is the only point of doing all this is to help the kids. So to your point, yes, but I also told the coaches, and I'll be honest because it's the truth. I said, we have to have football win here. And it's hard to get other coaches to see the value of that because it hasn't happened in a while. So the coaches, other than like maybe J. Miller Track has been here for 100 years, like other than him, you can't prove to coaches that will help because they haven't seen it. But I think if we can get there, they will. And I said, like, I'm not cannibalizing your programs by saying that. Like, we're going to make sure everyone has what they need, and we're going to do the best we can for you. But like, I have to have football win here if we want to get to where we want to go to. And they get it, and they love BV. BV did a great job keeping that group together during some transition times and all the stuff that was going on. So they want it for them too. And I think that when we can get them to be a winner, and we're going to get them to be a winner, they will go, oh, I see why this matters and why this is important.
There's no money trees on the bayou as much as we want. It's only cypress and those stink boats when you hit them. So you got to shake the money tree. Like, we obviously had we have a huge opportunity there with Meta coming in that region. What's kind of the plans, or is there some actions in motion to try to get some money out of Zuckerberg and the whole Meta conglomerate?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still too early to tell with Meta and like what that's going to look like, and it's going to be beneficial to us. I'm certain of that. I think to what extent it is still stands to reason. I mean, we need to figure out what's important to them, and I think that those conversations have been ongoing. I mean, they happened as much as this morning. We're in talks with him as a university. Dr. Castile is more connected and tapped in, outside of Governor Landry maybe than anyone in Louisiana. She has an unbelievable bandwidth for relationships. She's super high energy. She wants to move the needle forward for this region. So I think that helps a lot, and they're interested in her for that reason. In terms of the money piece, look, there's money here, and people love to be a part of a winner. So I think we have to obviously show it to people that we're committed to that too. But there's things we can do a better job of in terms of, I mean, with our foundation about doing a major giving society, and it's $5,000 a year type thing, and you're in this club, and I don't think we have stewarded people great. And I want it to be a place where I joked with them. Was that yesterday afternoon we met with the foundation, and they're awesome and they're unbelievable. But tell them, like, I want to make this piece where the dog ends up being, I have my names I want to call it and stuff. We're still kicking it back around, but like, if you're not in it, you're a friggin' loser. Like, I want people who are connected to Monroe to make that switch, to be committed to it based on, like, I want to be a part of what they have going on. And whether that's, I want it to be $5,000 a year annually, and you're in this thing, and I hope people are getting way more than that. But also want the person who's giving $40 a year for women's basketball season tickets to come and have a great time. So it's important to do both. But I think we can do a better job bringing national dollars here as well. And we got to do a better job with our alumni. We have to do a better job with our alumni and former players. But I think there's some national corporate interest and national interest in people that are connected here that will be more interested if we can do a better job stewarding them.
Well, Tibbs, you got anything else before I talk food?
Of course I do. I always have stuff, man. But I know that you want to talk food, because that's the only reason he's on this podcast, is so that he can be like, oh, where'd you eat today?
I've got a more involved, more researched question than that today, Tibbs. Which is, SJ, I know you've been involved in several restaurants, and that's a very ambiguous statement that I read off of, I think, the Oral Roberts website.
I'm glad you didn't say
so
Wikipedia.
far. I did. I do have Wikipedia pulled up here, but so far, SJ, I need your honest opinion.
Okay.
I want to know where you've been, and I want to know an overall grade of food so far in the city.
Crap, I thought you were going to give me a chance to hype up my restaurants. I was pumped.
Oh, no, they're in Orlando. I don't care if you start one in Monroe.
People visit.
All right, go ahead. What's in Orlando?
Lamp and Shade Asian Fusion on Mills District. Got to go check it out for Orlando. It's awesome. Awesome. Poor man's
I'll
style,
check it
but better. Got a new one open up in January called Terra. I'm very hands off both of them, but the guys who run it do a great job. Okay.
And now, Chase, I now know why we will never go to the New Orleans Bowl. We're only going to the Cure Bowl.
We're going.
Brother,
we're going to Orlando.
The team will eat good, and if I wouldn't be surprised if you see basketball on MTE in Orlando soon. It will be at Disney World. Don't get it twisted. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Food here, man. I've been to so I'm living in like a dorm for like the next month. So any chance I've been joking with donors like, let's get dinner. I'm like, yeah. So like, don't say it because I want to go. Right. I need to get off and out of this dorm as much as possible. So anyone that's listening that wants to invite me to dinner, then you let me know for the next month. I'm in no matter what. So I've been to a bunch of places this week. I ate the roof of Hotel Monroe. That was nice. It was a bar, like the Star Bar. That was a great spot. Went to Monroe's. That was a great spot. I had lunch today at I think a local smoothie place called Smoothie King. I think it's a local to Monroe only. It was pretty good.
Only in Monroe. Yeah.
Yeah, to my knowledge, that's maybe the original here. What was I'm going to say it wrong. The place right here by campus had lunch yesterday. It was like
Catahoula's.
Yeah, Catahoula's good.
Catahoula's
good.
Big ULM guy.
I got something from. Hold on. Stand by.
We'll describe it for the listeners.
This morning we had Louisiana Bake Shop in West Monroe. That was pretty good. Little chocolate croissant and coffee.
Have not heard of it, but
you were saying a bunch of things I've never been to. SJ, I was,
I mean, this was courtesy of Dr. Castile early breakfast this morning, and she called it. It was really good. I don't know. I'm trying to think of the place I've been on. I've probably been to 5 or 6 places, but those
Fieldhouse yet?
Haven't been there. Not yet.
Fieldhouse. So, he's a former player, Joey Trappy, and he also owns Traps in West Monroe. Very good.
I went to Waterfront.
Waterfront, yeah. Big
Waterfront's amazing.
Weems, yeah, heck yeah. That's a good place. No fryer, which is a little weird, but still very good food.
We went to a spot. What's the other spot that Trap has? Is there one more?
Traps, Crawfish City. Oh, he does have another one, doesn't he, Tibbs? It's a new one. Fieldhouse, and then oh, dude, I'm so sorry, Joey.
I'm sorry. We're having a boss break, so we get
all of his restaurants
for all of them. So that still counts. But yeah, man, look, I haven't been working out much. I've been here. I've been kind of busy, and I got to be up like 10 pounds since taking the job. So I got to flip a switch here over the new year to get back.
Well, the good thing is, I know where your office is. I know there's a weight room about 20.
That's the problem. I can literally hear it. That's the issue.
So what are your plans? We always talk about if we were athletic director, what's kind of the priority? My thing was stuff, right? We got to enhance fan viewing. We got to make that good because, at the end of the day, mom and dad come in for graduations. Basketball has way more games than football. Maybe not as necessarily the exposure level from a TV standpoint, but it's an important part of campus. What's kind of the immediate win that you have on your horizon for this stuff?
Yeah, I like the immediate win verbiage. I said in the press conference, and I told our staff yesterday, like, it's not some BS. Like I said that we have to win the margins, and I challenged each kind of department head to come back with me before Christmas break and tell me like what you think that looks like in your department of like those margin victories, because I think I have ideas and I'm curious if they think the same. And they probably have a lot of ideas that I haven't thought of, but that's the most challenging piece that I'm going to put on them before break is like, what are these small victories, whether it's, our comms department, social media, getting, being more posts or being more edgy on there, getting more likes. I don't know. I mean, I'm curious what they think, each individual group. But to your point, I mean, I could spend the entire podcast on things I want to do to the basketball fan experience after being at one game. But I think we have to, simplify and figure out what we can execute. I want to make, and basketball's not the most, like, I'm not saying it's the biggest thing. It's just the thing that we're dealing with now, right? Because it's in season. And there's lots of behind the scenes that I think are way more important in terms of like back end, how we're doing processes and that we can improve. And especially with getting organized in the rev share and contracts and that kind of stuff that we are doing. But in terms of stuff, we have a lot of dead space around that court. I don't know if they used to be stands or whatever. I've been to one game. I've been here for 4 days, so you guys know better than me. But I want to make that something, right? And I told the group today, if it's up to me, and I think it ultimately will be, so that's good. I want to put like a rug down on part of it, and some high top tables, and then like a liquor bar behind it, and I call it like the Courtside Club. And I said I want like mixed drinks to be laughably cheap. And I want that could be some deal where you go in there, the whiskey Coke's $9 and beers aren't gonna be $7. I want it to be like $3 and $2. And someone on our staff said, well, like, what if a fan gets out of hand and starts yelling at the referee? And like, I said that would be like the perfect situation for me. Like, I hope they take him to jail. And when they ask him why I went to jail, he said, because I got to the Courtside Club and it got out of hand. Like, that would be a dream scenario for me to promote that opportunity. As you thought I was like kidding. I'm like, no, seriously, like have a police officer arrest him, like even if it's fake, like run him out. That would be perfect. Tell
the cameras to point at it.
Please.
No press is bad for us.
And like, oh, they got to hit the Courtside Club down there. If you're not in it, you're a loser. That sucks. So I want to do some small stuff like that. And someone's like, is it a revenue generator? I'm like, no, I don't care if we lose money on the drinks. I'll pay for it myself. Like, I will stock the bar. I just want it to be like, I joked, and I'll tell you because hopefully it'll happen by next game. But the 16-minute mark, the first dead ball out of halftime, I said I don't care if you play the cha-cha slide, if you play the Cupid shuffle, but like I want to play it, and I want every kid in the court that's in the stands. Like I want all of them in the court. And so, well, like how do we operate that? Like, how do you open the gate and you say kids come down to the court and do the dance? And so, well, like then what do we do? So then you stop the song and they go back to the seats. But I want them on the freaking court. They're just like, what if they spill something? Like, well, then we have to clean it up. But we have to find a way to get kids more, especially with that video board currently, which obviously I know has been a point of contention, and we want to fix it and do all this stuff. But in the meantime, like what can we do? And stuff like that matters. When people go home from those games, and I hope we win them all, but I want them to go like that was a good time, and they cared that we had a good time. Because it's not. I said this in the press conference too. Like we can't just roll the ball out and think that the community of Monroe is going to go. Let's go support them. Let's go to the game. Like we have to do our part in making sure it's a good experience. So those are the first things to stand down. That's just two examples. I'll give you 20. I called. I had dinner with the donor last night, and he's like, what can I do? I said I need like $4,000 to do a half court shot, and I wanted to like students, if they're still there at the 8-minute mark, the second half, we're shooting for $1,000 half court shot. I just like get people to there, get them to stay, get them to have a good time. So we'll get there.
I love it because I've always said, again, having the exposure of the sports business side, college athletics is minor league baseball on steroids, and where it's the hokey things that work. And if you look at a lot of the G6 programs, even in the Sun Belt, I still think of the times when we go up to Western Kentucky. Dude, it was all student ran, and there was no dead space anywhere in those games, in those broadcasts or the in-game in-stadium entertainment.
Yeah, and my girlfriend can tell you because she was sitting by me at the game for the second half, and I'm sitting there. I'd like I stopped taking notes because my hand was hurting, and she was like, "How?" Sorry, my dog's over here. She's hearing me complain too. How like much anxiety is this giving you because they haven't played music in like 8 minutes? I'm like, I'm literally freaking out. Like it's the most stressful thing that I've ever had to go through in my life because I don't know who to yell at yet, and I'm not gonna yell at anybody. But I don't know even who that would be.
Yeah, you don't know who to complain to yet. Yeah,
I just like out loud, like someone hit play, someone hit play, someone hit play, someone hit play, someone hit play. But look, we're short staffed and we got to fill positions and do stuff. So it's people. I'd say that I don't mean to demean what they've done in the past because I think we have people here who are doing an incredible job for the resources that they have. We just need a little more refocus on, I think, certain areas that can make improvements and obviously bring some new people in too. But I don't want to sound like, oh man, they've done nothing here in the past, and that's not the case. And there's people who are doing awesome stuff. Someone hit the freaking play button. If it's a review of an out of bounds, it takes 3 minutes. Like hit the play.
Awesome. Who's been your person that you've met here in Monroe already that you're like, all right, that's my guy. That's the guy that I got to make sure is heavily involved in this program.
I mean, can you guys hear this dog complaining about me yelling in the back? Okay, good. That's good because she just is. I mean, the most pathetic over here. So the guy to me It's two-part because my guy has been John Bruscato, okay, because he's helped me buy a house. I thought he was a real estate agent for the first 5 days that I knew him, and then I get to town and I see him on a billboard and I call him like, "Hey, dude, what are you doing?" And he's like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, "You're not you're a freaking attorney. Like, I'm not injured. I need a house." He's like, "God, dude, I can do everything."
Bruscato call Bruscato.
Correct. Free plug. And Bus already had to drive around with me for 3 hours to look in the houses, and I think he had an actual job to do. I'm like, "No, we gotta go to this house, So he's been my guy for that piece. But I think that the of who we need to get involved, there's so many people that I've met, and the exciting part is 20 people have "Hey, what can I do?" People want a place to plug in, so it's not. We're not begging. I mean, we're gonna beg. A lot of people don't get it confused, but a lot of people, I'm not begging them "Oh, we gotta get your help." It's no, I'm in. Where? What does it look like? So, which is encouraging.
Fantastic stuff. SJ, first of many times, I'm sure we'll have you on the show, giving us good updates, good insights of what's going on the Bayou. Looking forward to it, and looking forward to seeing you again, hopefully for basketball when the Raging Cajuns come to town.
Yeah, I'm keen to see past tomorrow. When is our next home? We're not home for a while.
Yeah, it's a little while, and women, I think it's sometime in the new year, so it's a bit.
It's been a great first week of Monroe, but I am sad to report I'm traveling down to Miami tomorrow with the hoops team, so I'm gonna get a little bit of warm weather, which I'm not.
I hate that for you.
I know I'm not bailing up. I'm oh, I got to get out of town. It's just basketball. So you gonna go to Miami? I'm like, yeah, I'm in. When do we leave?
Get me out of a dorm room.
That's what I'm saying. It's not Monroe. It's the dorm, which I'm so thankful for. If Tommy Wapo or anyone from campus listening, I'm very, very appreciative. But also, what time does the plane leave to get me for a couple days out of the dorm?
Awesome stuff. Can't thank you enough.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Happy holidays. Want to give your host a gift? Consider subscribing, rating, and reviewing the show this holiday season. It really helps the show grow. From all of us at Bleav, have a Merry Christmas, everyone, and a happy holiday. If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.